Hi everyone. Today we're going to go over anesthesia machine, also the air compressor. That is a standalone air compressor which provides air pressures to the anesthesia machine for simulations, so we can learn this is in the lab. We don't have the medical pipeline system in this lab, so we use the standalone air compressor. So we're gonna go over several things on anesthesia machines. So on the anesthesia machine itself, we're going to I'll show you what we have here. First of all, on the back of the unit is from our discussions. It will have the air supply, so also they have a vacuum line. So on this machine here is a 3-gas system. It's have the oxygen tubing. This is the air supply tubing. So we're gonna connect this to air compressor because we have 2 different connectors here. One is for oxygen, so this was just labeled for air. Normally we just have air, but we change the connector to be oxygen in order to get the 50 psi. Supply to the anesthesia machine. So we use this to connect the oxygen supply. This is kind of sheeting to the machine just to get air pressure. And then we're gonna connect this air hostess to the air connector. Okay. From this end here, anesthesia machine, it have the blue ones. Actually, this one is for the nitrous oxide. So we don't have the nitrous oxide to run this machine. So we're gonna not connect this. Okay, so we not connect this. Okay, so this is right. So what we have here, this is for the vacuum system. Okay, or the scavenger system. We normally use the white one here. Is now we connect to the hospital vacuum system to draw this anesthesia waste gas into the scavenger system, hospital scavenger system. So we don't have that. So we not gonna connect this. Okay. All right. So this machine here, we have from this, don't worry about it. So we're gonna actually we use this just to hang this test line. So we're gonna have to put this somewhere for now. Okay. So. From this is a rebreathing circuit system that we already talked about that, okay? So again, so this is have automatic or back mode, okay? Overall, the machines, 3-gas system is got nitrous oxide, air, oxygen, right? And then this. From the front here is have main power switch, and it says the alarm when you have a AC power failures, batteries, the backup low, or you can test the battery. All right, if it's for alarm system. This is the bellow, so you can set the tidal volumes, from 200 to 1400. And then they have inspiratory pressure limit, so we want to make sure that we don't, overexpand the lungs of the patients. And then this machine here is have 3 vaporizer. Okay, it have sevoflurane, isoflurane, and desflurane. As you know that we this machine have exclusion system. So if you turn on one of these vaporizer, right, and you try to turn on another one, you won't be able to turn on that. So, right, you won't be able to turn on another one. So basically, you can't do that, okay? Because We only allow, the system only allow one anesthesia gas at a time, okay? And this vaporizer at a time. This vaporizer here is a heated vaporizer, so it has the power cord. We need to plug it in to power to be able to create the, the mist of the anesthesia gas. All right, so this is a special, different vaporizer. Okay, so if you can see here in the front, another thing is the oxygen flush system, the oxygen flush. Okay. What else here? Oh, okay. The oxygen flush system. The fresh gas. We have a. Let me see if I can tell. Yeah, the fresh gas supply hose over here. So normally, if you can actually, check it out, this is pretty tight. Probably need to get a little hammer to pull it out, and so you can be able to, pull it out. So right now I don't have the air compressor on, so it's nothing can come on right now. So, but the thing is, this thing here right now is there's no air pressure. Let me see if I can turn on one of the gas. You can see we have the range, so you can see that what is the high pressure gauge. All right, let's see. Pressure gauge. Range. Okay, here. I think we have one wrench, classic wrench here. We can just turn on to see. Okay. Something like this. Take that out. Gonna have to use the air. Oh. So apparently there's no washer, so that's caused that to leak. Okay, let's see if we can find if I can find that washer. We can. Let's see. How about turn on this oxygen? Okay, see that? I'm not sure you can see that this one have 2,000, almost 2,000 psi. That is the the gas from that oxygen. All right, so we'll have to put this air tank back on. There's no washer on that. So let's see. The other thing is I want to point out when you see that this hole here, this is the pin index. It's a safety system that you have to have a different position for different gas. So we can't really put this on the oxygen yoke. This is the oxygen yoke. You get two of them. So you can put two oxygen tanks there. They have only one air tank, so this is a different configuration for the oxygen. So this only can fit to that air, only. All right. So let's. This. Okay. Oh, kind of have to bring this closer to the unit here. So this is the standalone air compressor. So Alodite 2000. It's got 2 outlets, and also have additional outlet to the top there for air. So we have this unit is for a while now. So we can run this and you turn this on because here is quite a bit of noise. Okay. Yeah. And then we can turn on this anesthesia machine here. So as far as the machines, okay, we can set this machine. Right now, okay, it is 3 gas machines. Again, nitrous oxide, air, and oxygen. Okay. On the left here, it's got the bellow, got inspiratory pressure limit, tidal volumes. So you can set tidal volumes or flow meters. To connect the nasal cannula. Oxygen supply. If we lose that oxygen supply, it's going to alarm because oxygen is a life support gas. Okay. To the right hand side is a SIVO for ends. You can actually have fill this thing. Oh, we need to put this thing in. Yeah, this is just to prevent somebody fill that wrong vaporizer in there. So each vaporizer have different configurations. Apparently this one can't really use it because the plug is missing. So normally this one you can just pour that anesthesia of vaporizer in there. Okay, so in this one have a special connection. So you have to actually put that fill the bottles in here and then just flip it up. All right, so it's still have a little bit of vaporizer in here. See the label is here. The label telling us that have some vaporizer is in there. Okay, so I can feel this is pretty warm. All right, when you turn it on, this light telling us okay that's vaporizer is got turned on. And this one, let me see if I can turn this on. It's again, this one is on. Have that indicator. Yeah. The reason they have this light here, sometimes in the operating room, they turn off all the light in the operating room, so make sure that they have lights in here. The same thing in here, so you can see that there's a light in the background. So basically, when the room in the operating room turn off, you can actually see that the flow of the gas. Okay. On the top of this anesthesia machine, it's got the frequency. This one is the breath per minute. How many breaths per minute? I set right now is 20 breaths per minute, and also have the IE ratio at 1:2. All right, and I have a flow, inspiratory flow. This one basically is setting, when we run that auto mode. Okay, in the auto mode we can run. On this, the top part is the electronic part in here. The doctor doesn't have to keep backing the patients from here. Okay, they use the back from here. Okay, I will actually switch this, use this, back over here. Back, we're gonna switch back and put over here, and I put the lung simulator over here. Okay, all right. So from here, this is the display is a display, that the tidal volume and respiration rate, and this is showing peak pressure, stuff like that. And this one showed it the FiO2 for the oxygens. All right, so we have the oxygen sensor over here. I'm sure that the oxygen sensor still works though. Okay, and also we have electronic spirometers right here. Electronic spirometers. the oxygen sensor, on top of the expiratory valves. Oxygen sensor actually set on top of the inspiratory valve. The flow, the flow meters, or spirometers, is actually set. It will sit under the expiratory valve of anesthesia the expiratory valve of anesthesia machines. And here we have what we call the soda line. The soda line here is absorb the CO2. So basically from the top it's gonna turn purple first, and then when it's got about halfway purple, we replace it. Well, basically what we do, we toss the top one, and then we move the bottom one, go to the top, and put the fresh one down here. Okay, all right. And then from here you can see that this one we call that proximal airway pressure. So it's analog, so we can, when we run it, you're gonna see this thing is keep moving up and down, corresponding to the proximal airway pressure, which is have electronics one over here. We can compare that from digital and analog. Okay, and then we have the PEEP. Okay, this one is positive end expiratory pressure. Okay, we can set PEEP to have the gas continue flowing to the lungs. Okay, we can turn the PEEP off or on. Okay, from here. Okay, so we have the PEEP device over here, and also they have this one pop-up valves. Okay, so this is create kind of compliant or the resistant to the lungs. Okay, when we going to back the patients. Okay, that's how much we want to let the air escape to the scavenger system. Okay, so this is selector switch. We normally we use this on the back, or the doctor use this on the back mode when they start induce the patients with anesthesia gas from the beginning of the case. So we use this the back, and then when the patients is already have the ET tube into their throat, so they can switch this into the auto mode, and then turn on these ventilators. Okay, so as you can see that I switch to the auto. This ventilator is got turned on automatically. So the test lung start to kind of inflated. So this is kind of automatically, it's done quickly. So I'm setting the flow rate that I giving to the patient right now at 3 and 3. That means the total flow is about 6 liters per minute, right? About 6 liters per minute. And you can see this one, I set the tidal volume about 400. This is a kind of approximately 0.45. That's about 450 milliliters. Okay, respiration rate about 20 right now is showing. It's exactly what I said. Okay, and minute volumes. Okay, and then you're looking at the peak. This is the peak inspiratory pressure. So we get about 20. If you look 20, 21, 22, and we come over here, we're looking at that. It's about 20 something, right? Keep off. Yeah, this one is have PEEP about 2. What the mean is in this case, we're looking at this sometimes this PEEP is coming from here in the back here. Okay, and I explained it to you why. Okay, so on the back here, I'll show you that this is a scavenger system. Okay. This is normally we will have another hose that actually pull the waste gas out of the operating rooms. So this one have automatically not automatically. We have to manually set to make sure that the flow, the indicator is kind of float in between. So basically, you can't really dump the waste anesthesia gas into the operating rooms. Otherwise, everyone's going to, fall to sleep. So basically, we have this connect to vacuum system to scavenging all the anesthesia gas out of that operating rooms. This white one here is connect to, actually this white one is connect to the suction regulator, so you can help, using for the suction. This is the, to suctions, mucus or secretion from the patient. This one it can connect to the hospital. This one right here, the white ones can hook up the hospital suction system. All right. Here in the connector here, you can see that we have the the cable for the oxygen sensor. Yeah, and then we have that spirometers, right? Electronic spirometers, and then we have another one here. This is a pneumatic line. This measures that electronics peak inspiration pressure. This is the pressure line. This is very, very critical because all the alarm and the pressure alarm, low pressure alarm on the breathing circuit is come from this line here. So we have to make sure this is connected at all time. Okay, this is basically this is like a valve. It's act like a expiratory valve, and this one, the inside valve here, is allowed that to open and dump the anesthesia waste gas system out of that bellows system. Okay, as I discussed with you earlier how the rebreathing circuit breathing system works. So this is have a little bit air pressure that's causing to push back as like a peeps. So the reason that this one is create about 2 centimeter of peep. Okay, this device here, okay, is create about 2 centimeter of peep systems into the breathing circuit system here. Okay. All right, and now there's another line here. That where's the line go? This line is actually part of entire CO2 monitoring system. I don't think we have this thing connect. Let's see. We can try to see if we can get this thing on. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. On the side here. Let's see. Blood pressure cup. Yeah, they have. This is separate monitors. You have oximeters and also have blood pressure cup. So this one can do 3 parameters. NBP, pulse oximeters, and also do the gas monitors. Okay, let me see if I can turn it on. All right. What else we have here? Okay. All right, let me see. No, that's about it. Okay. So right now, I want to point out a couple of things here. You see the high pressure here from the oxygen tank. Now, when we run the machine, we do not leave this on. We have to turn this off. Okay. All right. So we have keep this wrench over here. All right. So this off. And then you see this one right now is run, quite high. This one, this air compressor is very well. It works almost 60 psi, okay, on air and oxygen. So this is normally the oxygen pipeline is showing working pressures. Hospital normally run about 50 psi, okay, 50 psi, but we got about 60 from this trustworthy air compressor, standalone air compressor system. Okay. All right. So now we're running very well. The machine runs very quietly. So this machine works so well. All right. So hopefully you learn something from this anesthesia machine here. Okay. All right. So any questions? let me know, email me, and we'll discuss some more next time.